What's up, B Squad? It is your boy JB, and we are here today with the review for Life After Lockup, Season 4, Episode 43 or 13, whichever one it is. It don't really matter. The episode is titled Family Lies, you guys. So before we go ahead and get into this review, if you guys are watching this video or any other video on the channel and you guys aren't subscribed yet, do me a solid favor and stop taking me out on this date and having me pay for it at the end of it. You guys know you can do me that favor by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, turning on your post notifications, and sharing the video, you guys. And with that out the way, without further ado, let's discuss Life After Lockup, shall we? All right, you guys. So you guys know we have a live today at 5 o'clock Central Time. So join me there. So this episode, it wasn't a whole lot, but we're going to get through it because we're going to start up with, let's just go ahead and get Justine and Michael out the way, right? So with Justine and Michael, they are always dressed alike, and I've been wondering for weeks, whose idea is it for Justine and Michael to dress alike? And I'm starting to think that it is Michael who wants for him and Justine to dress alike, right? So they got on all black, she got on the cat suit, and he's in all black, right? And then they put on these jackets. The more I looked at those jackets, I'm like, y'all look like traffic cones. So Justine is telling Michael that she wants to get a doula, right? And Michael has he doesn't necessarily really want to get a doula, and I don't understand why, but I mean, in a doula and a midwife, aren't they similar to each other? But he doesn't really want to do it, right? So far with this iteration of Love After Lockup with Justine and Michael, they haven't been in a lot of episodes, and the episodes that they have been in, honestly, their scenes don't give me a whole lot. But what I do want to talk about with them is I have a few questions. So when they went to go see the doula, Michael was asking the doula, like, you know, do you travel or just stuff like this? Because Michael is getting to the point where Michael wants to move them and the family away from where they are, right? And I'm just sitting here thinking to myself, aren't you on probation, parole, something like that, right? Don't you have the last time you talked about it, you couldn't leave where you are for what, 6 months or so? So I don't know how you just go up and move, but I mean, and then Michael talking about going on tour. I was like, can we bring it down, like tour? You got to sell records first. You got to sell a record before you can go on a tour. But, he dreaming big, and I mean, I can't knock it, although I don't think his music is that good. No shade to you, Michael. I like you, but from what I've heard, music just ain't that good. Sorry. Got to be real. So they got into a little bit of an argument in front of the doula, and I was like, why are y'all doing this in front of this woman? She didn't come here for this, right? So Justine and Michael got home, and her son, Santana, he's not really dealing well with the presence of Michael in the home, and that's to be expected, right? Here's the thing that I want to say towards Justine and Michael, right? So with Justine and Michael, I know that, they want the kids to feel, they want the kids to be welcoming and inviting to Michael, right? But this is, especially with Justine's kids. Justine's kids have been they've been with her, and it's just been them and Justine, right? So for her to bring a new man into the picture, it takes time to get to know someone, get used to someone. So I don't really know why it feels to me like Justine is trying to push it, make them feel comfortable with him immediately, right? And then she told it to her son Santana, who's 13. She just found out he's on the spectrum. Well, that's going to be even more of a challenge for him, right? With him being on the spectrum, that's going to be a little bit more like with your oldest daughter and your youngest son. It might be easier for them to gravitate toward Michael, but since your son he's on the spectrum, it's going to be a little bit difficult for him to feel safe with Michael, feel open to Michael. So I just feel like her expectations are a little bit unrealistic, if we're being honest with each other. I just think her expectations are just a little bit unrealistic. You got to give it just a little bit of time. I don't know what the timeline is for Michael being out of prison, but I think you just got to give it some time. That's all I say. Give it some time. And as you can see with Justine's son, he's a mama's boy. I can see that through and through because the way he is with Justine is similar to how I was with my mom. And so I understand him. He's used to it just being him, his brother, and his sister with Justine. Now he has to share you with another man. So, Justine, just give it some time. That's all I got to say. Give it some time. So let's pause here and move on to the next couple. Sean and Sarah. I don't care about either one of them. I don't care about either one of them, period. So I'm going to I'm gonna breeze through this scene. So the first thing we see with Sarah is in bed. She wakes up. Sean is downstairs. He's feeding the baby, and he's doing some stuff around the house. So Sean says that he listened to Sarah, and he wants to be the husband that Sarah deserves, right? I was like, oh, so you can be the husband that Sarah deserves and the father that this baby needs, but you couldn't be there for Kelly and Joe kids. And then in this scene, he was talking about how he was basically a deadbeat daddy to his kids, and he wasn't shit. And I'm like, well, you said it, I didn't, right? So then, I just want to point something out real quick, you guys. So in this particular scene right here with the baby, did y'all go back and look at the baby, right? Go back and look at that baby. She's a little bit smaller. She's a little on the small side, right? So she looks like she might be about 3 months or so. She looks very mean in the face, and she's bald. So then another scene, you're gonna see another scene with her where she's 6 months. She's 6 months with a full fucking head of hair, and she's smiling. When did they film these damn scenes? It's giving fake. Some of it. So Sarah wants to get her boobs done. I was like, oh, I don't give a damn. So while she's getting her consultation for her breast, her phone is blowing up, and it is Anthony, her daughter Aubrey. I'm thinking about Aubriana, Derek's sister. Abby, her daughter Abby's father, right? So he wants to meet Abby, right? And since she's not the one that's really raising Abby, it's her mom. Oh God, you guys, I hate to say it, but that mama look like she's strong. That mama, every time we see her, that woman look like she is strung out on some type of drug. No shade, just saying, right? So she says that she'll talk to her mom and see what her mom says, right? So this is the scene that I was talking about where the baby, in this particular scene, she's 6 months old, right? A little bit bigger than what she was in the scene when Sean was holding her, and a head full of damn hair, and she was smiling. I was like, what the hell is y'all doing a switcheroo now? But it's neither here nor there, right? So she tells her mom that, she's talked to Anthony, and Anthony wants to meet Abby, right? And her mom is like, I'm not sure about that because, he's done this before. He said he's gotten clean, but he relapses. And I'm like, ma'am, looking at you, it look like you've been down that road quite a few times your damn self. Just saying, no judgment, just saying, it look like you done been down that road once or twice in your lifetime. But she's okay. But she says, it's okay to let Abby meet her father. So that's where we are, you guys. Let me know what you guys think about Sean and Sarah. And we're going to pause here and move over to the next couple. All right, you guys. So next up, Amber and Puppy. Amber and Puppy. Honestly, I think both Amber and Puppy are in terrible relationships, if we're being honest. I think Amber's in a bad relationship with TC, and I think Puppy's in a bad relationship with Eric, right? And I want both of them to get away from their respective men, right? Honestly, I think they're better fit for each other. That's just my personal opinion. I think Amber and Puppy are a better fit for each other than the men. Just saying, right? So we see Amber. So Amber's out with their friend Queen, right? So she's telling Queen how, she and Amber her and Puppy went to the bar, and how, she called TC. TC came down. Puppy said to TC that, I'm not a drug dealer. They went home. Her and TC got into it because TC said that, brought up the drug dealer comment, right? So Queen feels like she just needs to sit, she needs to have a conversation with Puppy, right? because they were arguing essentially because technically they weren't arguing because of Amber. Technically, Amber and TC were not arguing because of Puppy. Puppy, God dang it, I keep getting it twisted what I'm trying to say. Amber and TC were not arguing because of Puppy. Amber and TC were arguing because TC brought up a conversation that Amber had said to him previously, and she didn't want it on camera. That's what that was. So Amber called Puppy up on the phone, right? And Puppy answered it. So Puppy tells Amber that, actually no. Amber was telling Puppy about the conversation with, what happened with her and TC, right? So then Puppy told Amber that, she's not doing good, right? Because she got a phone call from Eric's ex-wife, right? So Eric and his ex-wife had sex with each other. I told you guys. Looking at this episode, you guys, go look at his hand. He has his ring finger still. He has his ring still on his ring finger, like I do. Like I have a ring on my ring finger. He has a ring on his ring finger, and his is a wedding band. Mine is just a ring that was bought for me with my initials in it. Like those are just my initials. So yeah. And so she said that the ex-wife called her to apologize about having sex with TC, and that I guess TC didn't know that the ex-wife had put him on three-way, and so they were having a conversation, and they were going at it about each other because I guess somebody ghosted somebody after they had sex. Puppy, get out. And the thing with Puppy is she doesn't have a plan. She has no car, so she doesn't really have a way to get away from Eric. Girl, you better hitchhike. I mean, you got Amber. Call Amber, be like, bitch, I need you to come pick me up. Like, TC gone right now. Can you come help me? I need you to help me get my shit out this house because I'm leaving this motherfucker. Like, that's all you got to say. So Puppy wanted to go see her mom, right? This is the scene that it really disturbed me. It really, truly disturbed me in more ways than one. The first part that disturbed me is the fact that she wanted to go see her mama, right? So he's her ride. Why can't he just take her and drop her off and let her visit with her mama, and he go do whatever he wanted to do and come back and get her later? Nope, he sat there. So the mama wants to know what's going on with them in the wedding, right? So, he's trying to make it out like they good. But you can look at Puppy's face, and Puppy's face is saying, nah, bitch, we ain't good. So, because he's trying to say that his ex-wife is trying to come in between them, but they solid as a rock. The hell you are. So he went to the bathroom, and that's when Puppy really told her mom what was really going on. So here's the other thing that disturbed me with this scene, on top of the fact that she wanted to visit with her mother. You are sitting here. Sir, why don't you just leave? Then, when he came out the bathroom, it's time to go, kid. Excuse you? Who the hell are you talking to? Michelle. I'm calling you by your government name right now. Michelle, get your ass away from Eric. Get the hell away from that man. He means you no good. Get away. If you gotta slowly move shit out of his house, do that. Do something. If you don't want to get all your stuff out at one point, slowly move your shit. Again, call Amber up. Like, Amber, what's up, girl? What you doing? Girl, can you come back here real quick? I need you to help me out with something. What's up? So, me and Eric, we ain't doing too good right now, so I'm trying to slowly move my stuff out, right? So I think I'm gonna take some of my stuff over to my mama's house, right? Okay, girl, I got you. So So I'm gonna take a few bags. I'm gonna take like 2 bags right now, and then I'm gonna leave some stuff here so that way he don't really know what's going on. And then maybe about another week we can take the rest of the stuff, and then at that point I'm out of this bitch. There you go, Amber. Puppy. I gave you a plan. I gave you a plan. I gave you a plan. Do it today. Don't hesitate. Let's pause here and move forward, you guys. All right, you guys. So we are going to talk about Taylor and Chance real quick. I'm not going to pussyfoot. I'm not gonna skate over how I feel because I know Taylor and Chance peruse the YouTube street, so I'm not really worried about that. But what I do want to say is to Taylor, run. Don't marry this man. Eradicate him from your life, not like, unliving him or anything. Just get him out your life. You can't go for child support because the motherfucker is broke. So leave. Take you and your girls and your son and do better for yourself, right? Because Chance, now I will say with Chance in this particular episode, so you guys know his son Ethan was coming down. So he told Taylor that Ethan was coming and that he's buying him a plane ticket. And she was like, and you didn't think to consult me with that? He said, well, he's not, he doesn't, you don't run, we're not married, so you don't basically run me, right? How do I feel about that, right? He doesn't necessarily have to answer to Taylor, right? He doesn't. Even if they were married, he doesn't have to answer to her. But as a person who's in a relationship, right, you don't want to make decisions without running it by your partner, because that's what's going to happen when you get married. Like if you're doing things like this now, and you guys are not married, what's going to happen when you get married, right? That's the question. So the son is coming. He hasn't told the boy that they're having a baby. I was like, so you're going to spring that on him when he comes down? If I was that young man, I would have been pissed, because you weren't in my life, but now you're going to be you're a part of these 3 little girls' lives, and now you're having a baby, and you weren't in my life. You were a shitty person, right? To me. And I'm just saying this in general, right? You were on drugs, you were in prison, but even when his son came down, he said he don't know that Chance has learned his lesson. I was like, I don't think he really has either. So I was kind of confused about Ethan when he was talking about Chance. I know he said that he thought another man was his dad. I was wondering if maybe his mom was married to someone else. I don't know. But I don't know. But he saw Chance's mugshot when he was about 13 years old, right? Now this next scene with Taylor and Chance, you guys, yikes. So Chance took the whole entire family out to dinner. They all ordered food. And the bill came. When the bill came, Taylor opened up the bill. She was like, oh, wow. She was looking at it, just studying it. I'm like, baby, it ain't gonna change. What you should have done, if y'all did hard on times, pull a strand of hair out of somebody's head and dump it in the food. That's one less meal you would have to pay for, right? Just saying. And the only reason I know that is because it's happened to me. Well, I've never done that because I don't have a lot of hair, but it has happened to me a few times where I've gone out to eat and there's hair in my food. I was like, whoa, one particular time it was some hair in my gravy. It was a big strand of hair. I was like, oh my God, no. Actually, it's happened more times than I care to admit. It's happened a lot. And this is one of my favorite restaurants to go to where I've noticed hair in my food. One time there was hair in my gravy. One time there was some hair baked into my cheese fries. And I didn't see it until I started eating. Oh, God. But yeah. What was I talking about? Oh, I was talking about the bill, right? I don't know how much for all of them and that food that they were eating. Looked like they were at an Italian restaurant, right? I bet you that bill had to be at least $100 or more. So she showed it to Chance, right? He was like, you got something on this? If I was Taylor, I would have told him, I do not. You're the one that wanted us to come here and eat this dinner. So you gonna figure out how you paying for this dinner. So she gave him her card. Now this was where I was like, are y'all not embarrassed? You put 45 on one card, 70 on this card, 25 on, I'm exaggerating. I know he said 45 on one. And I do believe I heard 70. And then the rest on something else. That's the, don't go out to do something if you ain't got the funds to do it. Trying to live big, but you're living above your means. Taylor, again, I say, don't marry this man. You know, I originally thought he was going to put you in debt. You ain't going to be in debt. You're going to be in a poorhouse if you stay with him. If you marry him and stay with him, he's not going to put you into debt. He's going to put your ass in a poorhouse. And you got four kids to feed. Think about you and your children. Because he's going to put you in a fucking poorhouse. No ifs, no ands, or buts about it. You are going to be in the poorhouse, not in debt. Because you're already in debt. You're going to be in the poorhouse behind that. But let's pause here and wrap up this episode, you guys. All right, you guys. So the end of the episode, well, not the end of the episode, the end of this review, we're going to talk about Monique and Derek, right? I don't even need my notes for this because this scene with Monique and Derek and the sisters was stupid. So this episode is the fight. So we see Derek. So Derek is with his two sisters, Aubriana and Elizabeth, right? So he wants to take his sisters to, just so that they can have a conversation with Monique and her sisters, right? And at one point, Derek pulled the car over because he got mad at his sisters because, I mean, even I could see, especially Elizabeth, which I'm still trying to figure out, why did Elizabeth have on, so I don't know what this was on her head, but then she put this, like she looked like a ninja. I was like, girl, why do you have this on? And why do you have on this short ass dress if you want to fight? Because she had a dress on. And I was trying to figure out, girl, why do you have on a dress if you came to fight? Because that's really all Aubriana and Elizabeth were on. And then you got Monique, her sister Calandria, and her sister Sylvia, right? So they talking about meeting up with Derek and his sisters. Now, I don't think that Monique and her sisters came there with the intentions to fight. But like I said, Elizabeth and Aubriana, that was their intentions. Derek got so pissed off, he pulled off to the side of the road like he was done, right? But they eventually showed up to the park, right? So I do want to say one thing about what Elizabeth was saying. Because Elizabeth wasn't wrong. When they showed up to the prison, Calandra came her ass over there and basically asked them, why you here, right? So they get out and they're having a conversation. And you can, the energy and the vibe when they showed up, the energy and the vibe, you could read it from Aubriana and Elizabeth that they were on go with whatever they wanted to do. So Elizabeth was telling them, like, you know, when we showed up, you came over trying to figure out why we were there. This is our brother. And I didn't like that when she did it then, right? And I still don't like it. The thing that I was confused about, how did she know, like how did Calandra know what Elizabeth had posted on Facebook about Monique? That was y'all, supposedly y'all's first time meeting, right? Like that was supposed to be our first time meeting. Like I think for me personally, you guys can agree or disagree, but I think at some point these people probably came together and concocted I think at some point these people came together and concocted this storyline. That's my opinion. You guys can agree or disagree, right? So it got heated at one point. So Elizabeth and Aubriana, they went back to the car. Monique and her sisters were still outside talking, right? And at one point, you know, Sylvia was like, if she gonna swing, then get out and swing, bitch, or something like that, right? So Elizabeth got her ass out the car and ran up and they fought in slow motion. I was like, what the fuck? So she ran up, she kind of pushed Calandra to the side, and she fighting with Sylvia. Sylvia fell on the ground, right? Then Aubriana and Sylvia started fighting with each other. Sylvia was pulling the shit out of Aubriana's wig. I didn't see not one punch being thrown. Then You got Calandra and Elizabeth, they over there doing whatever the hell they doing. And then Monique, you all talk. Because you've been talking about whooping people's ass for a minute. And in this particular moment, all Monique was doing was this, just grabbing. Nobody was really nobody was throwing punches, right? None of them were throwing punches. This was the weakest fight that I've ever saw in my life. Like, this was a weak ass fight. You could have kept this. You could have kept this bullshit because it was bullshit, right? And I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, Derek's sisters were wrong or Monique's sisters were wrong. Everybody in this situation is wrong, right? Y'all all started. Y'all all have a part to play in this situation. Derek, you ain't shit because you didn't even try. You did nothing to try to break it up. You just sat there and let it just happen. Like, the fuck? I don't really have much to say, but you guys, that's really, I know I didn't leave anything out because that's all that happened in the scene was them fighting. The one thing again, Elizabeth, sis, why did you wear that goddamn dress? All I saw was your ass and thong. Like, I mean, ass and thong. Just all in my face. All in my face. And last night, you guys, the one thing I want to say that annoys me about this, y'all don't know what that woman has between her legs. Y'all don't know what Elizabeth has between her legs. Yes, was Elizabeth born a male? Yes. Does she identify as a male? No. She identifies as a woman. Address her as such, you guys. Stop talking about y'all see her penis or her dick. Y'all don't know if that woman has had bottom surgery or not. Because you clearly see she got titties. So I would assume that since she has her breast done, I'm assuming, because I don't know, but I would assume that since she has her breast done, she might also have her bottom surgery done. And y'all never, like, y'all don't know, y'all didn't see, stop saying you saw her dick. You didn't. They blurred, whatever she has between her legs, they blurred it. Because she had a thong on, so Jesus. Some of the comments be just blowing me. But that's it, you guys. Let me know what you guys thought about it in the comment section below. Subscribe to the channel, turn your post notifications on, and share the video, you guys. And until the next time, stay safe out there, you guys. Take care of yourselves. Wash your hands, be blessed, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.